On this episode of Bishop+Rook's Defender Rescue, we're going to show you the behind-the-scenes process of us doing a disassembly on this Defender 110 left-hand drive 300 TDI that we sourced from Lithuania. And it had been sitting around in the yard for a long time. We had taken some of it apart a while ago, but finally had this space in the storage room and space in the workshop to kind of crack on with the rest of the project and get it ready for restoration. Part of this process is organizing everything, deciding what we keep, what needs to be replaced, what can be restored. And it's a very diligent process where we kind of just clean everything up and figure out what kind of canvas we have available for us for restoration. And we're very serious about this, and we never get distracted during this process and never get sidetracked with other activities.
We're partway through the strip on the Lithuanian chassis 110 CSW, and we've had this amazing idea that we're going to attempt to get it running in the hope that we can show how bulletproof a 300 TDI potentially could be. This might backfire, it probably isn't going to run, let's be honest, as it's been open to the elements for a long time. We've got lots of bits missing, but the engine is not seized. The top of the injection pump is removed, which means there's been water in there non-stop. We've got lots of wiring and stuff missing, but we're going to attempt to kind of hot wire it. There's an injector pipe missing. If I get any life at all from this vehicle, I'm then going to spend a little bit of time in just trying to work out whether or not I can get it running properly. But we'll see. The first challenge would be to try and get diesel to the injectors. If we can get diesel as far as the injectors, we might stand a chance of getting this thing running. So you can see how bad this is. We've obviously spent a bit of time stripping it already, but have decided now that we're going to get completely waylaid and do something completely off the radar of works to be done. Pat's really into this, aren't you, Pat? Pat's been really annoyed about even the idea of trying to get this running, because he's probably the most sensible person here. But we don't care, do we, Harry? We're going to get this running.
I don't know.
Pat, there's no starting handle, mate. We might well have been beaten at the first hurdle as... Running! Jigga, 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 bro. I don't think it's going to run, guys. Well, we tried. It was worth a go. I genuinely think, though, let's be honest, guys, I think we probably could get this running in less than an afternoon with some minor tweaks. Yeah. I feel like with some messing around with some bits that are obviously broken, we could probably get this running. Easy. I might still decide that that's what we're doing this afternoon, but we'll see. As Alfie's fully on board, Harry's in the middle, and Pat just wants to go home. So, guys, I've decided we're doing it. We're going to have a go at trying to get this thing running. I figured, what better advertisement, one for us, but two for the 300 TDI, in showing what is possible with any engine. Obviously, we're going to be limited on some of the functions, but we think that we could maybe get it running. So we're going to replace, as it stands at the moment, the lift pump. We're going to put a fuel filter on it. Probably going to seal that back up or do something with that and give it some fresh diesel, and I think she'll go. So leave it with us. We've got plenty of spares. We've got this far. We decided we might as well have a go at it. We got there, Harry. That's a quality used part from the skip, isn't it? So this is the fuel lift pump that we've ascertained actually works, as normally actually all of the ones do that we have, because they're taking off running engines typically. But this is a common failure part anyway, so we're going to bolt that lift pump on in place of that lift pump, and in theory that will get us diesel from the tank, or maybe a bottle of diesel, we haven't decided yet, up to the injection pump. We've just replaced the injector pipe that was loose. We've noticed that obviously there is a injector stud and clamp missing, which means if it ever did run, it would shoot that injector out at probably 1.7 million miles an hour and kill somebody, Harry. So, oh, no. Pat might finally be on board. Pat, you on board yet?
Yeah, or, kind of. I've lost my bolt.
He's getting there. He's lost his bolt, but he's getting him on board. We've got Harvey and Alfie. Obviously, Alfie's been rummaging through the skip trying to find goodies, but we're going to carry on for a minute. Just to give you an idea of how badly sun damaged all this stuff is. This is meant to be a complete container, and it's pretty well knackered. This is all the brake fluid is in there, or meant to be. Got no wiring. That's the next thing we're going to solve, is a main power lead and a decent earth, and then a decent battery, and we're going to send it, I think.
Alfie, can you give me 11 mil, mate?
I'm pretty sure they're all on board now. Are you happy, guys?
Yeah, sun shining.
Lollipops.
Are we going to have a wager then? What's the deal? Is this going to run?
Yeah, of course it will.
I've got £20 on this running, which is probably enough to buy us lunch. Is anybody against the bet, or are we all on board now?
I reckon it should run.
Of course she'll run. Right, so we're actually all in agreement. What if it doesn't run then? Who's paying us?
Alfie.
Or who are we paying?
Definitely Alfie.
Right. So you've got to say it doesn't run, Alfie.
Alright. Or his mum's going to make us all bacon and cheese turnovers.
Don't start talking his mum on video, Pat. We'll get in trouble. I'm not sure whether or not talking about The Apprentice's mum is just a British thing.
I was talking about the bacon and cheese turnovers she made us.
Yeah, well, I know where it was going, so.
Apparently there was flapjacks as well, but I missed them.
Stop now, Pat. We're well ahead. Alfie, do something with your hands. Make it look like you're working. You give Pat a massage or something. This is what we do with the apprentices in the
Much
UK.
better.
They go on that way? The other way? It goes that way.
What's that you've got there,
If
Pat?
I just put it on the engine, it says problem solved.
Is it? I don't think the problem's solved as it still isn't running. Maybe you're supposed to spray the engine. No, that didn't work either.
Damn it.
What
Nothing.
are we ever going to do?
I feel like it wants double the voltage it's meant to have, somewhere between sort of 22 and 24 volts,
I reckon if I just
and literally smash the end of that can off with a hammer, and yeah, it'll go.
look, monstrous.
We did actually get diesel. The early signs are proving positive. We got diesel at the injectors, which is a good start. I've got the ignition key here in my hand, so we're going to connect that pretty much back to itself. We just had a bit of jig broom, didn't we? And there was some sort of banging and knocking. And my hand's right next to the turbo, which I'm not overly happy about. Can we extend this cable so that my hand isn't next to the flamethrower? Whoa, there was fire. There was definitely fire. Can we have a longer cable, please, Pat? We just had a bit of jig broom, didn't we? And there was some sort of banging and knocking. And my hand's right next to the turbo, which I'm not overly happy about. Can we extend this cable so that my hand isn't next to the flamethrower? Whoa, there was fire. There was definitely fire. Can we have a longer cable, please, Pat? Comes from squirting it though. Ready? Oh, a bit. It felt like a bit was going to come out of the engine.
Just go and keep it running on the can.
Where's the smoke coming from?
I think it's going to the back. Back forward.
Stop pulling that out. You're creating a fucking... Just leave it in there. Shall we see if we can bleed the system a little bit better again?
So what the guys are doing now is just letting the air get out of the system. Since the truck's been sitting forever, the injector pump was open. There's a lot of air in there, which means that it's not going to create enough compression. It's not getting enough diesel fuel into the cylinder wall, and it's not going to go boom. If you watch closely, you can see the diesel kind of spraying out the top of the injectors that have been cracked open. With that diesel is coming air, and so you kind of want a really nice mist coming out of the top of there once it gets through the system and bleeds it all out.
See if we can pump the fuel pump by hand.
One of the beautiful things about the 300 TDI is that it's fully mechanical. The lifter pump that they're adjusting right now runs off the cam, which is the fuel pump. That delivers it from the tank or bottle or whatever we're using today up into the ejector pump, which then meters it out to each individual injector. We always say if you've got diesel fuel and you've got battery, you're going to get the engine to start.
Oh, thank God for that, Alfie. Where is the clutch pedal though? You're being fully serious, aren't you, Alfie? Right. But yeah, we went over this when we showed you which pedal it was.
In all fairness, Alfie is 16 years old and he just started with us as an apprentice. And one of the things that we love doing at Bishop+Rook is teaching. And sometimes that's our audience and you guys, and sometimes it's our own employees. And, you know, a 16-year-old kid, not a lot of exposure to a manual car, might not know where the clutch pedal is.
There's lots of rust coming out of the exhaust. That nearly ran off, Pat. I was getting ready to run. Right, we're gonna have another go. What's the plan?
So for those of you not familiar, the guys were really concerned about the engine running off on itself, which means that it's going to feed itself and fuel itself based off the oil that's in the engine block and basically continue to go until it destroys itself.
Keep it going.
It runs.
Do we?
It's that, yeah.
Does it need a seal though?
No, I'm sure it's the seals, but the rest is in it.
Hold the cap on the diesel pump. She's alright, she's alright. I love how everybody's like, ah! It's gone really badly. Somebody's... Because it must have been on its own diesel for a second. Let's carry on.
I don't like
Give it a little bit. Turn it off. So the wire that was meant to turn the engine off doesn't turn the engine off. So yeah, I mean, that's a victory, isn't it? That's a victory. And all of you doubted me. That's the best bit. Everybody literally doubted me apart from Alfie. Get it on the boat, that's ready to go. Right, next task, can it be driven? Next bet. Who's saying it can be driven and who's saying it can't be driven? I'm saying it can be, everything can be driven. Of course it can. Right, we're going to move some stuff out of the way in case we have a big accident.
I think this is the point in the video where we're supposed to warn people that this is professionals at work and conducting things on a closed course, but really this is just shenanigans at the workshop. But part of the fun of building Defenders for a living is that we get to do silly stuff like this on an occasional basis.
This video alone should give you an idea of the versatility of a Land Rover, how I'm pretty sure we could drive this to Ireland and back as it is. But we've just had a bit of a monumental failure in the fact that yes, it starts and runs after not very long at all of trying to fettle with it, but it's actually snapped in half. There's not a great deal of that chassis left. That's possibly the worst chassis I've ever seen on a Land. In fact, look, it's not even connected. You can see the middle part of the chassis is no longer connected to the back. We think that the only thing actually holding this thing together currently is the body. And obviously now that we've taken the roof, the sides and everything off, it's structurally not very sound anymore. So we're there. Somebody just jump in and very gently give it a bounce. Oh, that's quite bad. How is that held together still? Right, anyway, we continue with the strip down.
We will admit when we bought the vehicle we knew the chassis was bad. I don't think we knew it was exactly this bad, but that's okay. Our original plan was always to replace it with a galvanized chassis and kind of start from that as a base anyway for this particular build. And it just allows us to start anew, but it's better than letting these Land Rover Defenders kind of go back to nature and rust away and never to be used again. There was a perfectly savable vehicle here with a little bit of extra effort. And, you know, it'll take us a while to get there, but it's pretty good proof that these things are somewhat indestructible, either as just kind of a farm truck or even a daily driver. So hopefully you enjoyed this episode of Defender Rescue, and stay tuned, subscribe, and do all that stuff that you're supposed to do here on YouTube for future updates.